Bayfield, Wisconsin. Population like 600 and some odd people, but boy, I think in the summertime it just goes crazy. We are going to take Apostle Island cruise today. All of us together. It should be fun. So this is the marina kind of thing. Let's walk. Well, they're pretty fabulous. It's a fishing boat down there. And some geese. Well, here's our boat. That's exciting. That's the last tour is unloading right now.
And bring the strap around your back.
Where'd the guy go?
So it looks like we have Mark on the upper deck and Miranda on the lower deck. So in the event we have to abandon ship, which by golly we haven't done that for a couple of weeks now, you'd be asked to seek a life vest of the appropriate size. Take that life vest, unsnap the black snap, unwrap that strap, just kind of let it fall to your side. Open the vest up, bring it up over your head. Careful, Mark, you don't mess up your hair. And bring the strap around your back, re-snap it, and pull the bitter end tight. Now, if the command was given to abandon ship, you will cross your arms, hold them firmly against your chest, and enter the water feet first. Tom Lake tonight, if you look in the water just below the surface, you can see the old remains of the old log crib dock where the ships would come in and load these blocks up. Now the quarry itself was directly behind these blocks and extends into the island about 300 to 350 feet. Now the gentleman that owned this quarry, Frederick Prentice, Frederick was a very successful businessman from Toledo. So Frederick had gotten remarried for the third or fourth time. Now I've heard both versions, but you know, once you get up over two, it doesn't matter how many times you are married. So Frederick wanted to surprise his new bride, so he had a really elaborate lodge built up here in the next point of land. It was called the Cedar Bark Lodge. It no longer exists. It was quite a structure for the time, a couple stories tall with an overlook of the lake. So he finally brought his new bride out here to Hermit, and when she arrived, of course the quarry was in operation. There was 100 men working. She realized she was going to be the only female on the island. She wasn't very comfortable with that. She didn't like what the island had to offer. You're pretty much seeing it, folks, with the exception of the quarry operation and the quarters and stuff for the employees out here. Not sure how she felt about the lodge, but she told Frederick, "Come on, Frederick, we're leaving," and they got right on the same boat they arrived on and never spent the night together in the lodge. Yeah, it wasn't very nice of her. Anyways, old Frederick, on his next birthday, old Frederick, he turned 80 years of age. His new bride on her next birthday, she turned 20. Whoa. That was true love, there's no doubt in my mind. Kind of gives me something to think about as I get a little older here in life. That ran right back to the island. We had several of them out here around the Apostles. They have all collapsed. This one went down in the 70s. The last one, archway that collapsed was over on Oak Island. It was a very large one we called the Hole in the Wall. That went down about 9 winters ago. We're going to go forward here a little bit. There's a lone pine tree up here. There's an eagle's nest in it. Last night we seen the 2 juveniles and a mature. But you'll get a good look. I know I can see at least 1 eagle there now, I believe. But when we get up here, I'll bring the boat to an all stop and again do a quick spin around. Everyone will get an extra look. about the largest of the eagle's nest we'll get out here around the.
You just see the head. Yeah. Oh, way up there. I see the nest finally.
See the eagles right
Oh my goodness.
there. See the white?
I
Yeah.
wonder how these eagles feel about a
now I
boat
see
showing
them.
up here about every 4 hours checking out their host. About a boat showing up here about every 4 hours checking out their host.
It's in there.
Look at it. Looks like a little face.
Down where we are, they've already fled.
This is the last remaining fish camp in the Apostles Islands. This is a non-functioning fish camp. It's owned by the National Park Service, and they usually have a volunteer. Actually, they do have a volunteer that lives out here in the summer months, and they'll give guided tours and explain the workings of the fish camps out here. Now, as we get up off the dock, I'm going to go sideways and then we'll spin the boat around. But the main cabin for the employees is the one right off the end of the dock there. To the left of that, you can see the net drying racks I mentioned, then the cookhouse, and then the various other buildings out here. Now, this fish camp, in the fall of the year, when they started doing the herring out here, this fish camp would have about 30 men working on it. So you can kind of look at the size of that cabin off the end of the dock there. This is a pretty tight quarters for those folks. Now, some of these fish camps operate in the winter months, or did operate in the winter months, and it's quite a challenge to come out here and set nets in the winter time. The winters were really brutal back then. They can still get that way today, but not as bad as they used to be. So what they would do is they'd haul an ice shack out onto the lake, out near their working area. And then they would cut a series of holes in a straight line. They would take a long poles and push that net from hole to hole to hole until they got it stretched to the appropriate length. Then they would attach the weights. It would go down on this. So this started in 2002. That was the first year I moved up here. I was working for the National Park Service. So I was working 4 10-hour days, and I got to fish 3 days a week. So the lake trout population out here started taking a pretty sharp decline out here. Now, once the
What they say, this Devil's Island? Look at the stone colors. Look at the layers. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I hope I have enough power to get the lighthouses.
Well, we got someone swimming up here. That's got to be very chilly.
The houses up there.
These rocks gonna fall off in a minute. We drive around the top of the peninsula, we've got some rocks. Right off the main shore. Caves like this.
Don't tell me that's what? Don't tell me that's their boat.
It's not.
We wish.
Yeah, we own this one.
Yeah. Don't tell me that's their boat.
Okay, I hope I got you close enough tonight. It's kind of hard to do that during on our day trips. Usually there's too much boat traffic out here to get that close. So as I start heading out here, I will go a little bit further away from the island here. You can kind of get a look at the big picture up there. At the top of the Devil's Island Tower, there's a NOAA weather station. You can pull that up on the internet. Pretty interesting, especially during stormy periods, to pull it up and see what the winds are doing out here at Devil's Island. She truly catches the full force of Lake Superior. Now, you folks seen the caves tonight was calm water. So just coming to the view between the two buildings, that was the old barn out here, as all the old lighthouse keepers out there in the Apostles had small farming operations and grew large vegetable gardens out here for their own extra food supplies. Now the parks are through the years, that kind of developed into a garden growing contest among the lighthouse keepers' wives. According to all the old logbooks, the Raspberry Isle Lighthouse Group pretty much won this on a yearly basis. And the reason for that is the surface water in here closer to the mainland, quite a little bit warmer than the outlying islands. The Park Service still puts a large vegetable garden out here every year and flower beds around all the structures. They have a couple of garden clubs they work with. They'll come out, prep, plant, and take care of the gardens throughout the summer months. They're all transported by Park Service boats. When they harvest the vegetable garden in the fall of the year, everything is donated to the Red Cliff Reservation. Now looking at the dock, that's a fairly major erosion problem here. And the fear was that someday this lighthouse might slide off into Lake Superior. So they came out the first year, they stabilized the bank, they put a more gradual slope as you can look on each end. And
I am Jody. Aunt Jody. Wait.
Shh, get down there.
Yeah, dude. Me too, for sure. They would cry when you separate.
Oh, sorry. Music in the park, Bayfield.